And we are live here in Western Sydney, and Dai Le is with me live in the flesh. Great to see you.
Good to see you, Laura.
Usually, you know,
we're on screen.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Now we're in the campaign proper.
Yeah.
Are people more engaged? Are they more angry? Are they willing to be a little bit more expansive when you're door knocking? Give us a flavour of things.
Look, I mean, I was at Wetherill Park yesterday, and we had a Community Connect Day. Residents were coming and are still experiencing challenges in terms of cost of living. But I think, look, people are living their day-to-day lives. Mm-hmm. They're trying to make ends meet. They're trying to navigate through our bureaucracy, whether it be NDIS, Centrelink, immigration, housing. So they're still coming up to me to talk about those issues. So whatever we are actually doing at the moment in terms of the media's focus and us in the political world talking about politics, people are getting on with their lives and they're not so focused, especially in my community. Like, we had over 100 people coming yesterday, bringing issues to me about how challenging it for them at the moment, because they are either not well, they can't get through, you know, either Centrelink or NDIS, they're having problems with housing. So, and generally speaking, people are still, 2 days ago, I was at the opening of a block of units for special needs, and the construction people said to me, it's so expensive, everything's gone up, the supply chain has gone up more than 30%. So these are ordinary workers, families telling me that on the grassroots, on the ground level. So I think it's a huge issue in terms of the cost of living, and people, I know the government's talking about it now, but I think it's a little too little too late.
Yeah. Well, they thought they had a political winner with this $5 a week top-up tax cut in 15 months' time.
Yeah.
You rolled your eyes there. Has that been the response?
Look, some people have said to me, you know, yes, 70 cents a day. Well, we'll take it. But my God, you know, what can you buy for $5? The tax cut that's
not
been
even
offered.
A coffee, really.
Well, out here, a bread roll is about $7. You know, like our Vietnamese banh mi roll. Mm-hmm. It's gone up. Everything has gone up. So I don't know who. You know, how the government has designed this policy, and we know that this was a budget that they had to have. They did not want to have. So I think it's, you know, look, I think it's a bit too little too late in what they're doing, and let's see how especially in Labor, safe Labor seats in Western Sydney, that they have forgotten. They haven't announced any kind of major infrastructure for this area. And I have been calling for the East-West Connect, because that's very critical for our community to connect Sydney to the Western Sydney Airport. And that is not been even on their, you know, on their plan. They got rid of it. They disconnected us from opportunities and jobs. So I think that Labor has really neglected, once again, this community.
Okay, so I mean, it's really interesting you say that, because when I was walking around here this morning, a small sample, of course, and it's not exactly scientific, but a couple of businesses near the train station, they were dying to talk to me. They said, you know, we feel like we've been abandoned. I'm 70 years old. I've got to work longer hours, and I feel like over the last couple of years, you know, I'm working 3 hours extra a day, but bringing in the same amount of money. I spoke to a taxi driver here. He immigrated 50 years ago from Jordan. He doesn't like the messages that he's hearing from Peter Dutton. So it's been quite mixed.
Yes.
Let's start on the, you know, let's talk about Labor for a second. The abandonment issue.
Yep.
Is that what you're hearing? Because, and are they blaming traditional Labor voters disappointed in Labor? Are they blaming Labor for this high inflation situation?
Look, I think a lot of people that I have, when I door knocked, or you know, have said to me, two elderly gentlemen have said to me, you know, I've voted Labor all my life, and but now I have a choice. Now I have a choice, and I'm going to vote for you. Now, you don't know if that's going to right across the city.
And people always tell you what you want to hear, right?
Well, no, actually, these are actually people that are just strangers. It's not like some... I did not actually entice them, I just say, look, have you, can you tell me, how have you voted? He goes, oh, Labor all my life, but I'm not doing it this time.
Wow.
So I think the fact that they're very disconnected, Labor is very disconnected with areas like Fowler, like McMahon, like Werriwa, all of the Western and Sydney, because they've always taken it for granted that people will go to the poll and vote for them. And there has been no other options for people to choose. And I would say that the independent council that we've created out here in the Fairfield City Council area, and of course my election in May 2022, have really given people the opportunity to see that actually, as an independent, I have actually worked very hard and have delivered and shaped policies that benefited this community.
Well, we decided to come here to McMahon today. It's a seat with a margin of 10.5%, so it's unlikely to change hands, but it could become an ultra-marginal seat. Who knows? And the reason being is that the cost of living, in the centre of that is energy prices, right? You cannot get away from the fact that this government promised $275. Chris Bowen is the member for McMahon, he's the energy minister. He's got to take some responsibility to that. And by the way, we did invite him on the show, but he's in Brisbane today, so couldn't make it. But when it comes down to that, I mean, we had Anthony Albanese say, oh, well, the modelling was based on circumstances at the time, and we backed in the modelling, but it's not our modelling, it's Reputex. So, he kind of washed his hands of that. How do people...
Look, I think at the end of the day, people just will connect that their energy bills have gone up more than 30%. Small businesses, families, and not just energy bills.
Do the rebates make a dent?
I think I've spoken on your program before. When you look at an energy bill, and I'll use an example of a local business in Wetherill Park who gave it to me, his energy bill has gone from $3,000 a month to about more than $9,000 a month. And when you break down that energy bill, there's all these charges, including a $700 environmental charge, and that environmental charge of $700 goes towards obviously the net zero and the transmission planning, right? The rewiring of the nation. So that money goes towards that.
So people are seeing the renewable charge on their bills every day.
No, because people don't understand what's in their bill.
Right.
You don't.
So, I mean, they keep on being told by Labor, though, that we're going to keep on investing in the cheapest form of energy, and that's renewable energy. That must be doing your constituents head in to hear that.
Well, I mean, but the thing is, they give $350 rebate. Now they've announced the $150. Together, that's $500. But people are still paying the $700 out. So they're still out of pocket by $200. But that's just one charge. There are all of these other charges on your energy bill. People don't know that all of these charges, hidden charges, are in your energy bill. So people see it's just 30%, 40% up. Now, you can't say that we'll give this sugar hit constantly to fix a long-term problem. There has to be the reform of the energy market to bring energy, to stabilise energy. And gas is one of the,
So you're backing Dutton's gas reservation policy?
Listen,
You agree with a lot of what the coalition is trying to do. Is that fair?
Well, I wouldn't say I agree. I think they're following my my policies, both the government and both the opposition. Because in the last 3 years in the federal parliament, I've spoken about the need to revise the stationary tax cut, the need to reintroduce the fuel excise tax cut. I talked about HEX indexation. I talked about Medicare. We need to improve that for the Middle Australia. And I talked about gas being a critical role in lowering energy price. So I'm not agreeing with whoever, but that's what I have been pushing for. And I'm glad to see that some of that the government has come to the table, announcing their own policies, and now the opposition as well. So I'm glad that both the opposition and our government are addressing some of the issues that I've raised for three years in federal parliament.
Okay, well, good luck, Dai Le. We'll be speaking to you again, of course. Thanks so much for coming out to sunny Fairfax.